Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Geek. It's the best movie show of the week. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday, or thank you for listening to us if you're listening to us when this episode drops on Spotify, on your commute, at the gym, doing a jog, wherever, however you're listening to us. Thank you so much. My name is Geekness, and of course, as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. Talking Moon Knight. So it's good.
Talking
I
some
missed it
Moon Knight.
already.
That's right. Uh, I haven't deleted my folder. Like I have folders with the trailers and then
Yeah.
stills for to use as clips in the reviews. Haven't deleted that one. Haven't even deleted the Doctor Strange one, but that one I still have videos to do for. But yeah, busy week. I surprisingly got to see it earlier than I expected, but that's Doctor Strange. We'll get to that in a bit. All right, everyone, you know how this works. Community posts. Go there to leave your questions. We're going to discuss Moon Knight in full spoilers. Number one, we're not going to discuss Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness because a lot of people haven't had time to see it. It just came out. Plus, we're already doing a spoilers review on Zach's channel tomorrow, so make sure you drop by for that one. Today, it's all about Moon Knight. And speaking of Moon Knight, it's one of the things I watched this week. And so we're going to get right on with our weekly ranking, as Moon Knight will be our main topic. I'm not going to dabble on too much about it when I insert it in my ranking. But Zach, last Saturday night, I had some pizza, my cheat day for the week, and me and my housemates, we decided to watch the new 365 Days for some reason.
Why do you hate
And
your guys' selves?
it's fucking incredible for all the wrong reasons, but it's fucking incredible. I had a blast, and I will tell you right now, I'll watch this film 100 times before I ever rewatch Morbius or Blacklight or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's an incredible experience. Not a good movie, but it's sensational to watch. Over that, I'm going to have Dark Phoenix. I haven't reviewed this one yet, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. That review will drop tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. The final X-Men review before I ever review the Wolverine proper movies. Not a fan of that one. Better than Last Stand, but not by much. It's one of the weaker X-Men movies, so I'll get to the rest when I get there. On top of that, I'm going to have X-Men Apocalypse. I like this one. I'm sorry. It's still a solid movie with a ton of faults that shouldn't be the case for a movie like this. But yeah, not a fan. Over that, I'm going to have this week's release in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Really good movie. I've seen it twice at this point. And it's a really good movie. It's just shy of great for me. We'll get to that all in detail tomorrow. And there's 2 reviews right now on the channel, a spoiler one, a spoiler-free one. Go check those out. Over that, I'm going to have Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange. Still my favorite MCU origin film. I just love this film immensely. And so glad I got to rewatch it in time to watch the new one. Over that, I'm going to have the Moon Knight finale. I will say it is the weakest episode for me of the show, but even at that, the show as a whole, I'm just so incredibly surprised how consistent it overall was. And it's one of my favorite things I've watched this entire year. Episode 5 itself is the best thing I've watched this entire year. And over Moon Knight finale, I'm going to have X-Men, Days of Future Past, which the review for that one is already up on the channel. Talk extensively about that. Very proud of that one. So that's my number one and still one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Zach, what about you?
All right, I didn't watch much this week, but we'll dive right into that. So coming down at the bottom, fucking hate me, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, my least favorite thing I watched this week. I saw it again. I didn't love it as much. The things I love, I absolutely love. The things I didn't like, I really did not like. once again.
Sacrilege.
So sacrilegious, man. My whole entire group agreed. I was actually kind of surprised that even like my friend who is a little bit more lenient, like he loves everything, he didn't even love it, and I was shocked by. I was genuinely shocked. So I don't know. Like I really enjoy this. But yeah. Up next, I have Evil Dead 2. I fucking love this movie. It's one of my favorite things ever. I just love the Evil Dead franchise. After that is After Party. Finally finished it.
Yes!
Got way better. Did not see who the killer was coming.
So you finished it?
With that. Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. Up until the ending. Excited for season 2, and now I'm watching Severance. So, next I have Moon Knight. I think this is as good as a finale could probably be with that runtime. Definitely, I think it feels a little bit rushed, but not to the point where I was like annoyed. Like it answered all my questions. I love the end credit scene. I think I know we're going to talk about it a little bit more in a second, so I'm not going to dive too much into it, but I really dug it. And last but not least, my number one is Army of Darkness. This is one of my favorite films of all time. I've nostalgically grown up with this thing. Ash Williams in the fucking medieval times is everything you can imagine and more, and I love it. I love what Sam Raimi does with it. Does it hold up? No, it does not. But is it my cup of tea? Yes.
But it still was your favorite thing this week.
Yes, very much so.
Alrighty, before we start our Moon Knight discussion, guys, let's go into your weekly rankings in the live chat. Nate Ankenbauer, shout out to Nate Ankenbauer.
Real fast, Ren. My Wi-Fi I can see is already going to crash, so I'm going to drop out for just a second, just so I can get it fixed.
No worries. See you in a bit. Nate Ankenbauer, shout out to Nate, who I keep disappointing because yet again I didn't have time to post about the memberships. I won't delay it till tomorrow because I keep saying I will post it on Sundays. Tonight. They're going up tonight. I will take care of that tonight. I guarantee you. So shout out to Nate and his weekly ranking. Number 1, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Number 2, War of the Worlds. Number 3, Barry Episode 2, Season 4, Episode 2. And number 4, Ozark Season 4, Part 2. I still haven't had time to watch Ozark, unfortunately. Barry, same thing. I've actually never been a fan of War of the Worlds. It's fine. It's a perfectly watchable film. I'd say C+ because there's directorial quality to it, but I just have a ton of issues with the script and the story it is actually telling. So I agree with your ranking, Nate, even though I can't comment on your number 3 and your number 4, but the 2 I've seen, I very much agree with it. Movie fan, weekly ranking. Number 1, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Number 2, The Northman. All right, you like Doctor Strange more. I love that. Number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 4, Ghostbusters Afterlife rewatch. And number 5, The Visit. That's another one I've never been a fan of. I remember even, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but I remember even time the Schmoes were still doing movie reviews. And I remember I did watch, because I wasn't too hyped, I didn't really care to stay away from reviews and all that. So when the reviews for that came out, I saw the Schmoes review. And obviously the Schmoes, Mark Ellis, Christian Harloff. And one of them really liked it. The other one was like, it's all right. And I have this best friend of mine who we always try, if I'm ever in Portugal around the time movies come out, we always try to go and see Shyamalan movies together. And so we went to see The Visit, and very much like Christian and Ellis, he was like, oh my God, that was awesome. And I was like, it's all right. So it's not one I've ever been a fan of, but I would exchange The Northman with Doctor Strange. I would exchange Ghostbusters with Sonic the Hedgehog. Other than that, I fully agree with your rankings. Thank you for sharing, movie fan. Number 18, Scott. Number 1, X-Men Days of Future Past. Number 2, Superman and Lois. Number 3, still having to see the latest episode of Superman and Lois. Number 3, The Flash. That was a solid episode this week. Did not expect that ending. Number 4, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 4. Number 5, Kung Fu Season 2. And number 5, Moon Knight Episode 6. All right. Surprised to see it that low, but all right. Thank you for sharing, Dominican Scott. Joe Fletcher. Number 5, Dark Phoenix, 4 out of 10. Number 4, Moon Knight finale, very underwhelming. Number 3, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 8 out of 10. Number 2, Logan, 10 out of 10. And number 1, A New Hope. You know what? I agree with that ranking. I wouldn't say the Moon Knight finale is very underwhelming, but I would say it is underwhelming. But other than that, fully agree with and obviously not necessarily agreeing with specific grades, but how you rank all of these, I agree with that. Tony Movie Chappie. Number 4, Moon Knight finale. Number 3, Belle anime movie. Such a good movie. Glad you finally saw it. Number 2, Hancock. Still shocked and baffled on why this never became a franchise. Because it feels like 2 different movies. I've always felt that was the biggest issue with Hancock. So yeah, number 1, Drag Me to Hell director's cut. I was just talking about in a group chat today. We were talking Sam Raimi, and I never liked that movie. Apparently, I'm in a minority. I was shocked to learn that I'm in the minority. So you're in very good company, Tony Movie Chappie. But I just never liked that movie. That movie just never hit me the right way. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, really. Let's see if we have any more. Here it is, Eric Thorpe. Weekly ranking. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring? I guess that's the one. Number 2, Multiverse of Madness. Number 3, X2. Number 4, Deadpool. Number 5, X-Men. Number 6, Doctor Strange. Number 7, X-Men The Last Stand. Number 8, A View to a Kill. Number 9, Moon Knight finale. All right. I mean, this is clearly a part 1 of 2. So we will have, hopefully, there's one more weekly ranking here. So I hope you type it in time, Eric Thorpe. And Ellie, I love your Kitty Pryde avatar. Love that. With Lockheed on her arm. Ellie says, number 1, Moon Knight. Number 2, The Bad Guys. And number 3, Doctor Strange. So I would rank either Doctor Strange ahead of The Bad Guys, but if you mean the first one, I would rank it above The Bad Guys by far. If you mean the second one, I would rank it above the Bad Guys, not by a lot, though. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Ellie. And we'll get back to Eric Thorpe's weekly ranking when he types it in, because I'm still waiting for Zach. Let me just check if Zach has said something in the private chat. Nope, nothing there. All right. And there it is. Number 10, Fantastic. Why are you watching Fantastic Four? And why are you ranking Daredevil lower than it? And why are you ranking Ghost Rider lower than Fant Four Stick? Eric, my brother. I hate you, but I love you. But I hate you, but I love you. Number 10, Fantastic Four. Number 11, Daredevil. Number 12, Fant Four Stick, which is one of the worst movies ever made. Number 13, Ghost Rider. It breaks my heart to see Ghost Rider that low. Can't agree, Eric. Love you, my brother, but can't agree. And Ellie meant Doctor Strange too. Thank you for clarifying, Ellie. All right. Let's get to Moon Knight, everyone, while we still wait on Zach Pope. If you haven't watched the finale, if you haven't watched the show in general, I hope you don't mind spoilers. It's not going to be so much of a discussion while Zach isn't here. So while Zach isn't here, I can bring some of your comments up while Zach is not here. So there is more of a proper discussion. So if you have any thoughts on Moon Knight, let us know in the live chat, or consider donating through the super chats or tip link. And so Moon Knight ends this week. The finale hits after 6 weeks. We finally get the conclusion to Stephen Grant, to Mark Spector. And I will say this. It is the weakest episode for me. Not that it has the same issue with the other finales, like the finale of Falcon Winter Soldier or Hawkeye, where it just had so much to wrap up it already had issues before. Now, this was a show that clearly had its ideas in place. It had a very precise, intricate pacing to it. It wasn't overwhelming of a finale. It also didn't have the problem of the WandaVision finale, which I like the finale of WandaVision, by the way, but it felt very much like, okay, this finale that WandaVision delivered didn't feel like it was building to that. Moon Knight doesn't have that issue. It very much builds to what it pays off. At the same time, it could have used overall 5, maybe 10 more minutes to just allow each of its key moments to breathe in a little. Because other than that, the beats it goes through, the story directions it goes through, they all felt earned. They all felt genuine. They all felt like, okay, this is what the show is building towards all along. There was no drastic turn that felt jarring or that it didn't make sense. The visuals continue to be astounding, to be unique. The show continues to be this gritty, dark look at a man's broken psyche. And here is Zach Pope. Welcome back, Zach.
Thank you.
The show continues to be this dark, gritty look at a man's broken psyche, analyzing how this superhero life affects him. And that's the thing I loved most about Moon Knight from the beginning, where it never felt, whenever he became Moon Knight, whenever he gave in, it never felt like, oh my God, this is awesome, this is the superhero. It was always a loss. It was always tragic when he became Moon Knight, and you felt that weight. And because you have these two personalities, it's also very much about their coexistence and how one affects the other. And so whenever one became Moon Knight or the other became Mr. Knight, you always felt like one getting in each other's way. And that's always interesting, because origin stories in the MCU, and you guys know I love the MCU, it's always the same. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm glad origin stories are always the same. It's a story of becoming. You see someone in a position where they grow to be something more than they ever were, to represent something more than they ever were. While Moon Knight, definitely not that. There's a tragedy in becoming Moon Knight. There's a weight to having these powers where you feel almost the same fear Mark has, because as we learned in episode 5, he was at death's door ready to take his own life. And then this godly figure, this entity, took advantage of this man, took advantage of him at his lowest, when he had nothing to grab onto. And to me, that's very powerful. And that carries throughout the entire show. And so I think they very much nailed this show. They nailed this character. They nailed this mythos. Oscar Isaac should get all the nominations possible. I don't know if I nominate anyone else in the show. Not that everyone else was not great.
I would nominate Ethan Hawke for Best Supporting.
I don't know. I mean, it more so depends. Like, let's get to the Emmys and then look at the shows that were eligible, and then we'll have a better idea. Just off the top of my head, I think Ethan Hawke is Fabu in this show. I think the show itself is Fabu. May Kalamaui is sensational. She's a revelation. I hope she skyrockets from here on out. And I hope we continue to see Mohamed Diab's work. But Oscar Isaac is just on another level. Right now, he's my favorite performance of the year in television. And overall, he's just behind Alexander Skarsgård, while Elizabeth Olsen is my favorite female performance of the year. I will say that much about Multiverse of Madness right now. But yeah, I think the finale itself will just need a little bit more time to breathe. But in what it delivers, how it delivers it, consistent with the entire show, creating one of the best origin stories and overall MCU experiences of all time. Zach, what are your thoughts on Moon Knight? How did you feel about the finale? Did it underwhelm you somewhat? Did it Was it your favorite episode, least favorite episode? What are your general thoughts?
Genuinely, are we talking spoilers? By the way, I forgot to ask this.
We can talk spoilers. Yeah, I warned everyone. In case you haven't watched Moon Knight, get out. We're gonna talk spoilers.
Okay.
It's an open
I was
right now.
genuinely surprised because when I turned that fucking thing on at midnight and I saw 47 minutes, I went, seriously? Not like 55? Not because they had a lot to do, and I think they accomplished everything they needed to do in that runtime. And the way that I equivalate this is if you go back and binge this show, you take out the credits, you just watch it straightforward. It's a 6-hour movie. It really is. This is the third act conclusion, summing up everything. And I adored what Mohamed Diab was able to do. And shout out to Benson and Moorhead. They did a couple episodes as well. They did great. I can't wait to see what they do with Loki season 2. Very, very excited for that. But I love that this did not tie into the overall MCU universe. I know many people wanted to see that. I was reading that they actually had talks about putting the Eternals in there in a flashback sequence, which, okay, don't get me wrong, that would have still been pretty fucking cool, but it wasn't in the budget, nor did they feel like they needed to do it. And I don't think they needed to. I don't think this show needs to connect yet. I like that this phase overall has been separated and just centered in on our heroes and learning about where are they at after Endgame. Who are these new heroes? And Moon Knight was, honest to God, since Iron Man, the best, in my opinion, the best introduction to a new character since Iron Man.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't say it's like the best origin thing yet, because I still think movie-wise, that's probably Shang-Chi. I really loved Shang-Chi, but like to a character...
I somewhat don't consider Moon Knight an origin story.
Not an origin story, but I just mean an introduction to a brand new character. Like, I haven't loved, and for me I've been wanting. See, Doctor Strange was great too. So I guess technically Doctor Strange, but like the love that I have for Moon Knight kind of reinvigorated my love again for the MCU, and like I want them to do more shit like this. I know there's been a lot of talks. Is there going to be a season 2? Is it not? What are they doing with this character?
I imagine is very interesting. When you ask Oscar Isaac, when you ask Mohamed Diab, when you ask anyone actually involved with the show, the wording whenever they answer that question is very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting too because for the Emmys they submitted it as a limited series.
Yep.
So I think in this case, just for people to know, my theory is it's a limited series, but we're gonna get another limited series titled Moon Knight. Technically a season 2. But you can technically do that because it's a limited series again. So I can see them doing that. I could also see them doing a movie. I genuinely think I could see them.
That's what I think.
I could see them doing, And I say that because I think a lot of people love Moon Knight. Week to week was growing in ratings. And I overall think as much as the ending episode, I wish it was a little bit longer just to settle in on a couple more things. What else was there to get? We got Jake, which was a great end credit scene. Probably one of the best end credit scenes I think we've honestly gotten in a while. The whole subtlety of that scene with them wheeling Harrow out, Khonshu in the back in the fucking drip, and then him just meet my friend, Jake Lockley. And Jake, the window comes down and then boom, boom. Perfect. Fucking perfect. And I seriously think that
it was exactly what I said it was going to be. He was going to be the evil guy that Khonshu actually wanted all along. I fucking called it.
Which I really like that. And I'm excited to see where that goes next. But I also love how the series ended. And I was talking to 2 people at work yesterday who did not like it. They're like, I don't get it. So he's just like, he went back to the mental hospital and then he just wakes back up in the bed. I'm like, well, that's the thing. It's full circle now. They're both starting where we saw Steven in the beginning, without knowing that there's another one. Yep. And that's where it makes it interesting, because then when they do discover that, it's going to get fucking crazy again. And I can't wait. Did you see the costume designer, what she would plan for his Moon Knight outfit?
No.
She planned the black, the white hood with the black.
She planned the black? Okay.
So that, I was like, okay. I can't wait. I love the series. It's my favorite MCU series yet. and it is in my top 5 MCU things ever. I fucking love it. It's the only MCU show.
It's my number 6
really
MCU
nice
thing.
Is it your favorite show? I didn't hear if that was.
It is my favorite show.
Okay.
Like, so if you had asked me before episode 6, before the finale, I would say, like, if this finale is everything I want it to be, it's going to be very ahead of Loki. Mm-hmm. It's not very, they're very tight, but they're both shows I love. I love these two shows. I think overall Moon Knight just edges it out because of the overall thing, but I will say Loki has the better finale. The finale of Loki is still the best finale out of the shows.
I agree. And I love Loki so much, man. That was such a big surprise.
Loki's so great, but there's an okay episode in there. Moon Knight doesn't have an okay episode. Yeah,
I agree. Every episode got back. I will say I was surprised Midnight Man didn't come back. I'll be honest. I'm very sad that actor didn't. I thought he was gonna have more in this season.
Who?
So very Midnight Man, the guy who passed away.
Oh yeah. Gaspard. Yeah.
But you know, overall, I had a blast with the show. I'm gonna miss watching it week to week. But I mean, we have Obi-Wan coming up next, so there's that. So
yeah,
I'm really excited.
Fun. And then Ms. Marvel, like right after.
Not during. Fucking during it.
No. I mean, we're gonna get Obi-Wan in a week, and then right after that week, it's Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, which is okay.
They're gonna happen. At least we'll have at least we'll have screeners for one of those.
Miss Marvel, hopefully. I'm gonna predict it right now. I think they're gonna give the whole season. Besides the last episode.
Think so?
I think so because I say this. I don't think there's that much hype about this show yet. And it's the same thing with Moon Knight, brand new character.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they gave us 4 episodes for Moon Knight, to be honest with you.
That's true.
Whereas Miss Marvel, I mean, we all know Captain Marvel's in it. She's fucking in it. To a certain extent, I'm sure she's in it. I don't think we see her till the final episode, though.
No, it's going to be a cameo for sure. And they could... I don't want to call it a cop-out because they haven't promised anything, but we could not necessarily get Captain Marvel, but instead get Tiana Paris.
That'd be cool too. Spectrum. I'd be maybe both of them.
Maybe both. Yeah, maybe both.
Yeah.
Or Nick Fury or a Skrull. You know,
or
the
all
Skrull
four, all four.
All four. The
maybe
Skrull
the villains are Skrulls.
Why am I blanking on her character's name? Monica Rambeau.
Oh, yeah.
You could get the Skrull that talked to Monica Rambeau at the finale of WandaVision. We could get that same Skrull who is Talos' daughter, I think, to go talk to Ms. Marvel. So yeah, that'd be interesting. And so, Zach, I want to ask, were you disappointed that there weren't any? I know you talked about specifically the Eternals one, and I will tell you, as someone who loved the Eternals, I'm glad the Eternals weren't there.
Same.
Even if it was a flashback or anything, though it would have fit, because we're talking about how this film in Eternals just set up how these godly beings from outer space just influence religions and mythologies and creeds and cultures around the world. That would have been very interesting to see how they molded Egyptian belief and eventually gave life, I think, to Khonshu and Hathor and Amit and all that. And by the way, the Funkos for Moon Knight still not on sale. I don't know what's happening. I just got a Doctor Strange one because it's an exclusive and it's Dr. Christine Palmer. So I need every other one.
Moon Knight. So like out here they went up, but we're not getting them till like the end of the year.
What? That's dumb. And I did pre-order the Moon Knight hot toy because I'm not paying for it yet.
Oh, you did?
Let's see what happens till then. I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
It's a great one. I'm waiting for them to release. I want Mr. Knight too, though.
I know. I want Mr. Knight as well. But yeah. So, what do you think? Did you want any connections? Any strong connections? Minimal connections? Maybe just a reference? Because they did mention Madripoor in the 4th episode. My defense for that, though, is that they don't mention anything specific in the MCU. So if they had mentioned, oh, remember when the new Captain America went to Madripoor? That would have been an MCU specific thing. Saying Madripoor as acknowledging that city exists, that just means this is set in a world of Marvel. And it could be very separate, like the Netflix shows were, like Daredevil and Spider-Man and X-Men and Fantastic Four and Ghost Rider. All those movies were set in the Marvel universe, but they were all separate, you know? So I think Moon Knight mentioning just Madripoor isn't anything too special, but we know it's in the MCU. So what I want to ask is, did you want any reference, any connection, strong, weak, maybe a line of dialogue, maybe a mention of something, maybe the showing up of someone at all in the show? Did you want any of that? Are you glad it is as it were?
Would I like to have seen someone else? Yes.
Okay.
Do I
Anyone
care?
specific?
No. I have a couple. Obviously it's
Okay.
rumored that we're getting a Halloween special this year, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Personally,
Very
surprised
glad that
we
didn't
actually didn't. I get that, but I'm surprised it wasn't actually announced, because it's not announced and we're getting it in October. So I was sitting there, I'm like, how the fuck is this not announced? You know what I mean? Unless it's getting pushed to next year for some reason. But I was genuinely surprised by that, because Werewolf by Night is the first time Moon Knight showed up. So I thought, oh, this will be like end of it. We see the werewolf and Moon Knight being, I don't know. But context of story doesn't make sense.
So glad that didn't happen. Yeah.
The other one is Blade with Kit Harington.
That's what we all predicted, really.
I'm genuinely shocked. Nothing to that. Genuinely shocked. So now I'm in the context of, we will not see Blade until his movie next year, if it is actually still coming out next year. That's where I'm at. So, but I don't have an issue with that, because I don't mind that. We don't need every series to connect. I honestly, I really think that. I think sometimes you just need this character to be new. So when he does show up in someone else's movie or show, you get hyped or excited, and maybe that's why they are playing coy. Maybe he is, and maybe both of them are in Werewolf by Night. Who fucking knows? Who knows? It could be a wild fucking time. I doubt it, but I don't know.
I hope not. I don't think this Moon Knight fits with Werewolf by Night, particularly because you're going from live action to animation, and just leave them alone. Leave them separate.
It's animation. It's animated.
Werewolf by Night, yeah, it is. Everything I heard about it is animated.
That's not what I heard. I heard it's live action. Yeah, I heard it's definitely live action. The guy who did the Wolfman outfit, like the Wolfman makeup, is doing it. He's doing the makeup.
Okay, that's all. Because everything I've heard or read is that it's animated. It's a small animated thing. So.
Yeah. If it's animated, I don't give a fuck about it anymore. I really don't care about it now. Everything I heard was live action.
I'm actually more worried if it's live action, because it doesn't sound good, and it's not very interesting. It was never interesting in the comics, so I can't get too excited, sadly. The only interesting thing about it in the comics is that Werewolf by Night, at least one of the versions, because there might have been several characters, was J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So the guy who almost marries Mary Jane in the second Spider-Man movie, nice. He would have been Werewolf by Night. Regarding appearances or mentions, I don't think the show needs it. I think the show thrives in being its own thing. I'm sure if they wanted to connect it to something, they could have written something that would have worked in the script's favor. Like, there is a loose connection between Aethor and Sekhmet, which is a name that T'Challa mentions in Civil War as one of the gods they believe in, and is a god that becomes a nemesis of Black Panther in the comics and all that, and so there's that connection. Egypt is in Africa, which is also where Wakanda is, so there's that geographical connection as well. And maybe that connection didn't happen because we lost Chadwick Boseman and because we have no idea what's going to happen. What's going to happen with that? We have our ideas, we have some info, which we're not going to share, but it obviously threw a lot of plans out the window. They had to reshuffle and all that. So I don't think the show needed any strong references, any cameos from anyone. Would I have enjoyed seeing them? Yes, because it's always cool to see these characters coming together. Zach, if you can pick not one of the new characters, but if you could pick one character that you know already, that you've met throughout the MCU movies and shows, to show up in here, who would you have picked?
That's a good question. So it can't be like Blade because we technically haven't met him.
Yes, yes. So someone we have seen in already in the movies, like a character in the actual movies.
Honestly,
if you want to go Dane Whitman, he's valid, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Because Mark Ruffalo was on set, so I really thought they were gonna.
He was in Budapest. It was never confirmed if he was actually on set, like, or at least on set working.
He hung out. He definitely hung out with them, though.
Yeah.
I know. So
that's for sure.
That is like one of mine. Okay, no, wait. There's someone who we've technically seen. Charlie Cox is Daredevil. I don't know how the fuck he would have been in here. I don't know.
Okay.
But I definitely like. I would have really liked, because one of my favorite older pieces of Moon Knight comics is anytime he teams up with Daredevil. I just love the red and white.
Too often. You'd think
it doesn't. It doesn't, but he's a cool character. And so I want to ask you, we're getting the Midnight Suns, right? I think that's what we're gonna do.
I hope not.
They're gonna. You don't. I hope so. No. I don't want West Coast Avengers. I want Midnight Suns.
I don't want either. Stop making these hundreds teams. Just go to the Avengers. One giant team of superheroes. Why are there several teams? Like, makes no sense. Or just don't make, like, I don't think, outside of the Daredevil and the Defenders, which they made work within the story, like it was a one-time thing. It's not like they established a team. They just worked together in that one mission. I don't think Moon Knight or Daredevil or these heroes are like team heroes to work consistently in a team, you know? To me, I always prefer Daredevil on his own. I always prefer Moon Knight on his own, Blade on his own for sure. Black Knight, he's just not interesting in the comics.
But that's where we have to remember Kevin Feige can change that.
I know, in Feige we trust, but obviously we have to speak with the information we have right now. And with the information we have right now, I sure hope we don't team them up. Like, for me, I think a character that would have fit very well, you wouldn't need to change too much. You could have just have this character in the background, because it fits with what she is doing in the MCU currently. And that's what we talked about with Egypt being in Africa, Wakanda's in Africa. There's that geographical connection. And we know this character is establishing Wakanda-UN relations. What if we saw Nakia? Lupita Nyong'o is there establishing a base for kids, or even representing the Dora Milaje or Wakanda in some sense, and she's in Egypt taking care of some diplomat mission, and she's just there. Like, we have a shot of her to recognize her, that she was there, that she was doing her thing while Moon Knight was happening, but we don't really need to have Moon Knight and Nakia meet up. I don't think there would have been a need for that, but it would have been a cool character to just see there, and it wouldn't have to be a lead character, I think. But Zach, the question is now, I know you talked about it, but now you have to choose. Moon Knight, season 2 or movie? Which one do you want? Which one do you think they'll give us?
That's tough. I'm gonna say I wouldn't call it a season 2, but I think a limited series is more of a possibility, like another one just with a different title, and that way they can get around. Because the Emmy thing's the thing that fucks me up with that, just because
Marvel Studios Mr. Knight.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm gonna say show. I don't think we see him in a movie until a team up or something like that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I would actually prefer a movie at this point. Bigger budget, or not even you don't need a huge budget, but like I would rather, because if the budget for this was like 150, but like you had to split that between 6 different episodes, it's like what, 30, 20, 15. So I wouldn't mind getting something else, So that's where I'm at. What about you?
I definitely feel they're shifting him over to movie status. Not that there's a too big a difference right now. Like Wanda went from movies to TV to back to movies again with Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. So it's definitely possible. Captain America, Anthony Mackie went from movies to TV. He's going back to movies again. Sebastian Stan, I'm sure we're going to see him again. So he's going from movies to TV.
I mean, you'd hope. We're seeing all of them again.
And Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel is going to be the first, I think, unless there's some surprises in between Ms. Marvel and the Marvels. She's going to debut on TV and go to movies. So she's probably, if Moon Knight does that, she's probably going to be the first one to do it over Moon Knight. So yeah, but I definitely think that's what they're building towards. I definitely think we need this story that couldn't fit into a single film, a little bit stretched out. It's a 6-hour movie, like you said. I agree. But now we're actually going to give it a movie. Now it's going to be this mystery of this man who overcame his brokenness and now lives at peace with his 2 personalities. But then there's a secret third personality.
Now I have a question for you.
Dark personality.
Let me add this for you. Who do you want to direct it? Do you want Mohammed Diab, or do you want them to bring in someone different?
Let's keep Mohammed Diab. Let's keep Mohammed Diab, and let's keep the writers as well.
Now I want to add a little bit more of a fun thing. So say Mohammed Diab can't come back, right? Say he can't come back. You can get any director working today to do this. It doesn't matter if they've ever talked shit about a Marvel film. Who do you want?
Fuck.
I have 2 in mind, but I'm curious. I want to see first if you.
I would be taking the cheap way out if I said Benson and Moorhead.
Yeah, you would be.
Man, it's tough. Give me yours. I'm curious now.
So my number one, David Fincher. I would love to see David Fincher tackle any of the properties. I think now, just because the inspirations and stuff like that. But the other one, Scott Derrickson. I would love to see him come back.
I'm gonna go with you on that one. I'm gonna go with Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi. I mean, I love what I've sung the praises. That is my favorite element, but I wouldn't. It is, but that's not. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't like if they announced tomorrow. Because do you think Sam Raimi's going to come back and do another Marvel movie?
I would guess so. Yeah.
I think he does Strange 3, right? I would assume
most likely, and
I did find out though. Did you know he pitched a Thor movie back in the day? I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. Most people don't know the comics, so I was hesitant to say something, but I'm going to say it right now. I think they're doing the Oath for Doctor Strange 3.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say. If you haven't read that story, go read that story. I think they're going to adapt. And when I say they're doing the Oath, they're not doing the exact story from the comics. I think they're going to adapt it from the comics, along with another story that has a spoiler in the title. So I'm not going to say what. So yeah. But you think, like, these directors that I just don't think would do a Marvel movie, it's tough for me to think them up when you ask me these questions. But I can't argue that Fincher would be a great choice, because he's a great choice for everything, right? Mm-hmm. He's just a great choice, period. But yeah. Yeah, I like Fincher, but I think we should just keep Mohammed Diab. I think he's a big part of what gave Moon Knight its identity, and a big part why the show was so successful and such an incredible story to watch from week to week to week. Zach, any closing thoughts on Moon Knight? What it delivered? The surprises, disappointed us, exceeded expectations? Anything you got to say?
No, it was not the show I expected it to be as it kept going on, but it was the show that I really much loved. And I think it just goes again. I saw some comic book fans being like, this isn't the fucking comics. You got to remember the MCU is an interpretation. It's a brand new version. It's an adaptation of what we like. And they take it and fix it into their universe. And I like that. I like that they do that stuff.
100%.
I don't want it to be just the same.
I gotta say, as a Moon Knight quote unquote expert, this is one of the most faithful adaptations they've got. Like episodes 1 through 4, at least, even a lot of 5. That's the Jeff Lemire run, pure and simple. Like no ifs or buts about it. You don't need to like it as an adaptation, but there's no denying that's 90% Jeff Lemire's run. So I love the show. It really gave me a personal experience week to week to week. Particularly episode 5 is out of this world good. The complex writing,
the best episode
the characters are incredible. It's sensational and so
Is this
good.
your favorite Disney Plus show? Mandalorian's still my favorite. So
they're on the same level, like Loki and the 2 seasons of Mandalorian. I might put it ahead of the first season, but season 2 of Mandalorian, like it's all very even. Because Mandalorian season 2 does have, like we said, Loki has an okay episode.
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 1 has a outright bad episode. The episode 5, the one in Tatooine. The one in Tatooine.
Oh, you're talking about the first season, right?
Yeah, first season of Mandalorian. Yeah. The episode in Tatooine, it's so bad.
Not good, yeah.
That episode is not good at all. So that one gets taken down a couple of notches. I would give it like probably an A-, maybe B+ if I'm feeling very shitty, depending on if my hate for that episode is going strong. But season 2, like Loki, Moon Knight, and Mandalorian season 2, those are very much up there. Very much up there.
Let's be honest.
All right.
No, he's a liar. He likes Boba Fett the most. He thought Boba Fett was his favorite show of all.
I put episode 5 of Boba Fett right up there as well, but only that episode.
Yep,
only that episode. All right, everyone. Let's move on to your live questions, which are now going into the community tabs. So if you have a question, go leave it there, or you can support the channel through the tip link or super chat in the description. Also, don't forget, I'm going to announce memberships tonight, the perks and all that. One of them involves getting early reviews, particularly when I review older movies, which we're going to start a new series this upcoming week. And also, before we start with the questions, I want to give a shout out today. I want to give a shout out to Toby. Who is Toby, you ask? Today I was at the gym, Zach, and this guy just came up to me, said he loved the show, said he loved the podcast, was looking forward to today's episode. Like, just really nice. It never gets old. Made me feel really good for the rest of the day. So shout out to Toby for being super nice. That's it today at the gym.
That's a rest of your day, the rest of your life. Yeah. Like that's a great thing.
I don't care. I mean, this could happen 100
You've never met him before?
And like I've seen him at the gym, I recognize him, but we had never spoken. And today I was just asking if he was done with one of the racks because I needed to do some shrugs, and he just reached out and said, "Hey, just wanted to say that I found a YouTube channel recently. Really love the show. Looking forward to today's episode." Damn. And it was just really nice. Like it hasn't happened 100 times, obviously. It happened twice, counting today. Today was the second time it ever happened. The first time was at a con here in London, like 2018, because it was the first year. This guy stopped me at a con, asked me if I was running Geekness. I said, yeah, we took a picture. I asked him to tag me. He never tagged me, which is perfectly fine. It's nevertheless humbling, makes you feel nice, and it was just really cool. It could happen 100 times. It will never get old to me, and it will never not mean a lot. So yeah. All right, so shout out to Toby, and let's start with our questions. First one comes in for Geek OEP, good friend of the show. Considering the divisive reactions to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, would you say it is Phase 4's Iron Man 3? Phase 4's Iron Man 3 or Thor Ragnarok? Not in terms of quality, just based on the reactions, with some really liking it as more of a Sam Raimi movie than an MCU movie. And people said that about Iron Man 3, Shane Black. And some decisions with the film, namely Wanda's arc and the Illuminati stuff that some people didn't necessarily agree or were disappointed with. So I somewhat agree, because I see the comparison you're trying to make, because the divisiveness, or at least the justification for the divisiveness, it's coming from like the same grounds. I will say this, like, obviously nobody has to like this movie, nobody has to like Wanda's arc, but if you say it makes no sense for a character, you've never seen an MCU movie, you've never seen WandaVision, and again, you don't have to like it, but saying her arc in this makes no sense, that's just wrong.
Yep.
The Illuminati stuff, I understand why people would be pissed at that. Myself, I personally love that it served the story in the way it did. We're not going to get into spoilers, but they were nice. The Illuminati was a great, great spice on top of a great meal. That was Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Didn't get in the way of the story. It enhanced the story. It brought the point that the story was trying to make across. But yeah, the divisiveness in this one is very curious, Zach, because in this one, a lot of the people that I expected to be on the camp that they didn't like it are really liking it. Like, people saying they love it, apparently liking it even more than me, because I really like it. Like, it's just like under the line of me loving it. Because up until the third act, fucking love it. And then the third act has a few issues. Excuse me. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Zach?
Can you repeat the question? Because I was fascinated by your thoughts. I was just like listening.
I hope that's a good thing. But considering the divisive reactions of Multiverse of Madness, would you say it is Phase 4's Iron Man 3?
No, I think Eternals is still more divisive, if I'm being completely fucking honest.
That's true.
I don't think I think honestly this entire phase is divisive. There's a group of people that think that they should not have continued the MCU after Endgame. I completely disagree with that, because I think it's more interesting to see what happens after a big event. And for me, I mean, like I said, I like the movie. I don't love it. It was my second most anticipated film of the year. Maybe the Batman fucking spoiled me too much, and now I'm just expecting too much greatness. But
the Batman and the Northman.
Yeah. Oh, and that, and Everything Everywhere, and yeah.
I like this one more, but we'll get to it. I can finally upload my review on Monday.
But I'm very I liked it. Is it Iron Man 3? No. I think for me what has annoyed me the most is, and maybe it's just because I love Sam Raimi. Everything, and because it's funny, the big issues I see are not the issues I have with the film. I see many of the general going audience saying, "Oh, I fucking hated the directing. I hated how Sam Raimi did this or did that or did this," and I'm like, but that's the best aspects of the fucking movie, in my opinion. And again, fine, opinions can be different and all this stuff, but like for me, I love, if I'm telling you right now, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe someone else directed this, I would have liked it even more, but if it was not for Sam Raimi, I truly think this would be like last 3 on the MCU for me. A lot of his direction saved this film for me. A second rewatch. I like the Illuminati stuff. I wish it would have taken its time a little bit, just a little bit more time with it. And tomorrow in our spoiler discussion, I know we talked about one thing in particular with the Illuminati.
I'm gonna go off. Zach.
I know.
I'm gonna.
I know. And I'm gonna be excited. No. My second time rewatching it, I liked it more. I take back what I told you earlier. So, but we'll talk about that. He's a
liar, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Zach Pope is a liar.
But I overall, I liked the movie. I liked it for what it was. It wasn't. I wanted more. And I wanted more from the story and taking its time and just resting with these characters a bit more. Just because I like these characters so much. I love Wanda. I love Wanda, and she's not. Like I know Elizabeth Olsen has talked about maybe this is kind of it for her. There's no fucking way. Like I know all these actors say that a lot, but there's no way. That reading a lot more about Scarlet Witch, she is slow, and especially within the movie, she is top 10 MCU characters for me. I love her.
You
so
don't
much.
raise a character to main event status, speaking in WWE terms, only to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So, and I really like this movie. I I knew a second rewatch was going to help me decide if it was my expectations or my feelings going in. If I didn't check them in, I checked them at the door. I was just very much more like, oh, it's not bad. It's a good MCU film. I really wanted more from it. I just wanted more story wise. But this Iron Man 3 comparison, I get your comparison, but I would definitely say Eternals is still more divisive. I know more people that hated. A majority of my friends hated Eternals. A majority of my friends hated Eternals. When I do my ranking and I show Eternals my top 15, it's a fucking issue. So,
all right.
Did you like this more than Eternals?
No.
No, okay.
Because I loved Eternals, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I loved until the third act, which I like. I like the third act. So overall,
I agree.
I really like it.
I think the third act's the weakest part of the movie.
For sure, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's
still good, but
just not great.
Yeah.
But yeah. What's the next question, Zach?
Lady Aaron asks, and I'm only bringing this up because I'm tired of people quote retweeting my tweet about this. Zach, I heard that you and your group of friends that saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness were more excited for the Avatar 2 trailer than the movie itself. Is this true or not? Blah, blah, blah. And speaking of that trailer, what do you guys think of the Avatar 2 trailer? So I want to mention one thing. It's not my friends that were excited. I'm talking about the audience I was with. The buzz in that room was... You could tell none of these people in that fucking room knew there was an Avatar 2. You just could fucking tell. And that's the excitement I was talking about. There's one other time that night that people were excited. And it was... I mean, I'm sure Ren knows which exact moments in the film that got the biggest buzz or scream. Do you? Yeah. So, but like I have one friend...
It's the penultimate person to be introduced.
Yes. I have one friend who Avatar he doesn't love, but he loves the world. He's obsessed with it. He thinks it's super unique, but he's always been excited for a sequel. So he knew the trailer was there, and he goes, he got there late, and he goes, I'm not getting a beer, I'm not getting a drink, I don't care. I want to see Avatar. I just want to see the trailer. So he was very excited, but everyone around us was buzzing when that trailer popped up. And that's what my tweet was about. My tweet was, that was the reaction. And I know people were like, oh, crickets, stuff like, whatever. It's not that my group was excited, because I already seen it. I had already seen it like 3 fucking times by then. But it was the fact that so many people did not know what was coming out. And I've heard people shit on the trailer. It's not a great trailer. It doesn't get you any more excited. This is a trailer.
It's a teaser.
It's a teaser. It's a trailer that is here to showcase the CGI, to showcase, if you got to see it in 3D, awesome. And I have heard, Ren, I don't know if you get 3D out there. I have heard Multiverse of Madness is insane in 3D. So I actually kind of want to go back and see it.
There were a couple of shots where I noticed
they planned that.
It's almost like they planned to be in 3D, yeah.
So now I kind of want to see it in 3D.
Even one of the spots has it's clearly made for 3D, because you have the bars, you have the 16:9, and then the explosions and the powers and all go over it to the edge,
like Ghostbusters wise, which was really cool how they I remember Ghostbusters had really cool 3D on that. So I very much, if you do get a chance, definitely check out Multiverse of Madness in 3D and then get to see Avatar in 3D. Because I have heard Multiverse is insane, really good 3D.
Avatar, speaking of the actual movie, Avatar is one I'm like, I want to try that out in 3D, and I don't go for 3D movies.
Neither do I. But seeing 3D. That trailer, seeing the trailer, because I saw the trailer in 3D.
I want to first watch the movie. Period. I want to watch the movie in 2D, like I watch every movie, but then I want to give it a watch in 3D. And check how that is.
But yeah, I like the trailer. I liked it. I liked it. Visual effects were really pretty, and I mean, I'm excited. I just say this. As much as people shit on the first one now for some reason, I like the first one. I like the world.
It's a good movie.
You can't...
It's not a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
But you can't count James Cameron out.
You don't bet against Jimmy Cams.
Yeah, he has made 2 of the biggest, best sequels of all time. One of those sequels in my top 10 of all time. So...
One of those sequels is in my top 10 of all time.
Yeah, and all I'll say this, man, is what I can imagine is maybe this movie makes $1 billion. Just $1 billion. But you know what the third movie's gonna make? A fuck ton of money. a fuck
Yeah.
ton, especially if it's really
All right.
good.
Yeah. All right. We got to move up faster because there's a ton of questions. But
Okay.
I
Did
really
you like
like
the
the
trailer
Avatar
though?
trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like the Avatar trailer. When I was going into the press screening of Multiverse of Madness, which was in IMAX, they gave me the glasses ahead of it, and I was like, oh fuck, because I was in the corner, like I was in the corniest corner of corners to watch that movie. So I was looking at Multiverse of Madness like this. You know, I wasn't watching the movie like this. I was watching
Yeah.
like this.
I
But
hate
then a friend of mine also came in and is like, "Oh no, this is just for the Avatar trailer." And I'm like, "Cool, awesome, perfect." And we watched the Avatar trailer, and it's stunning. Doesn't give you a ton in terms of story, but to sell you on the visuals, on that world, on the experience of seeing something like this, it is astonishing. That's the best word to describe it. All right, Gigo AP. What are some movies that I'm guessing you mean you respect, but don't necessarily love? Films you recognize are well made and understand why a lot of people love it, or admire the ambition, but on an entertaining or personal preference level, didn't do it for you. This is a great question. One of those won't shock you. It will maybe shock you that I consider it something like this, but it won't shock you that I didn't love it or anything, and that's Hereditary. Um, I get it. I understand. I didn't care for it. It's very well made. I just didn't care for what was being made. Zach, what's one for you while I search for others?
Recently, Drive My Car. Did not give one fuck about it.
I haven't
It's
seen
a
this.
very well made movie. I just did not, that 3 hour runtime. I didn't give one shit. It took me 6 hours
Yeah.
to get through it because I kept
Man.
pausing it. I just could not get into that fucking movie. I tried, like I sat there for the first hour and 45 minutes and I just didn't get it. It's well made. I understand what they're trying to do. I just sat there, and by the time it ended, I'm like, this could have been an hour and a half, and nothing would have changed. Like it takes its time deliberately, but it never hit me the way that it was hitting every single other person.
All right. Another one for me would, because I know I have more. And I know I have a few recently. Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog for me. Like
Okay.
I don't care. I totally do not get it. That first hour setting up some incredible things. The second hour does not pay them off whatsoever. Which is a shame because what it was setting up was really
I
interesting.
disagree, but I get it.
Yeah, not good at all.
I have
Yeah.
another one that's a lot of fun, and I had fun with it, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. And I think you're gonna hate me for this. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. I thought it was fun. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I thought it was good. I don't get the 90% Rotten Tomato score. I'm actually quite shocked it's that high, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I'm not, because it's a joyous good time, and you
not his
are
best movie though. When you got Face Off, Con
his
Air.
best movie. No, I don't.
It's
think
his
it's
best
best
rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. That's insane to me.
Well, but Rotten Tomatoes is a broken system that aggregates how much, like, that 90% of people could all be saying, yeah, it's all right. They could all agree with you, but see, because it's
Yeah.
90% of people, that's the 90%.
That's true.
So yeah, that's one for me. I'll try to think of others, but right now there's not a single one that is jumping to mind. Zach, what's next?
Up next, we have Joe Fletcher. How would you rank the MCU show's finales? For me, the only really good one was Hawkeye, and Loki's was solid.
I put this up on Twitter. I will disappoint
finale
you, Joe,
wise.
Hawkeye is one of the weakest.
So finale wise,
on that.
I can do mine real fast. My number one's Loki. My number two is Moon Knight. My number three, probably Falcon the Winter Soldier. I really liked the whole action sequence they had and stuff like that. Even though I didn't love the show. 4, WandaVision. Wait. Push Falcon down. Put What If there. Because I really liked What If's finale with all them fighting. I thought that was cool. 4 would be Falcon. 5 would be WandaVision. And 6 would be Hawkeye. Hawkeye's my least favorite finale. It just
All right.
It just felt rushed.
All right. My
Well,
number
dude.
one is Loki. That's the best finale, I think. Then Moon Knight, then WandaVision, then What If, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then Hawkeye. Overall, I would put Falcon and the Winter Soldier ahead of What If as a show, but the finale itself, I think What If was better for sure. So yeah, Zach, no, you just asked the question. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Jacoby P, do you guys think people should just go see movies for themselves instead of going off by some reviewers' opinions? I look at reviews like you guys. Thank you very much, Jacoby P. That means a lot. We don't talk enough about how that means a lot, but speaking for myself, that means a lot. Like you guys and others, as hearing your thoughts on them, but I'm not always going to agree with some reviewers that I follow on certain movies. You probably know my answer. Yes, you should always go to a movie with an open mind, leaving expectations and what you know at the door. I think reviews are there to inform you, not so much that you will like it or you will not like it, on the chances of you liking it or not. Like, Zach, when you go buy a figure, or when you go buy a game, or a product of any kind, let's say you go to Amazon, you look at reviews, you see what people are saying about it. Movies are the same. What is the general consensus? Like, let's say you just watch me and Zach for argument's sake, and let's put Hereditary back on the table. Hereditary is coming out. You're excited. You watch these two reviewers, these two dumbasses on YouTube, and you go to that guy with a cap, and he reviewed Hereditary. He fucking loves it. It's one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year for him. It's fucking amazing. And then you go to the long-haired dumbass, and you see him saying, it's all right, it's very well made, but it made you feel nothing. It is very
And then
cliched.
you go to your friend who thinks it's a piece of shit. So.
And then you go to the dumbass with a cap and his girlfriend, who's not a dumbass, and she thinks he's a piece of shit. And so there you have three reviews, three different points of views that kind of inform you. And then you take your knowledge of these dumbasses and what they usually say about movies and how much you usually agree with them, and that should inform your opinion. It's not so much that reviews should ever at all dictate or influence your opinion, but it's more so an informed sense of generating your own thoughts, of expressing your own thoughts on it. That's my view of things. But always, always, always make your own mind about it, and never be afraid of the popular opinion or the unpopular opinion in this case. It would make no sense to be afraid of the popular opinion. I fumbled that up. I'm sorry. Zach, what do you guys think?
No, I think reviews are there for a couple different things, like what you mentioned, but it's also there to, if there is a really good movie that is indie, look at Everything Everywhere. I think that's a good one. Yeah. It's not falling. It keeps making money because of word of mouth. Some of that word of mouth is from critics, and then when critics did that word of mouth, it got audience members interested. Then those audience members went and saw the movie, and then those audience members tell their friends, hey, you need to fucking see this movie. It's really unique and creative. And I wish they would have done the same thing for The Northman, but people are weird. And from there, they go back and forth. And a lot of reviews, it's all marketing. It's free marketing. That's why, like, when I'm not offered a screener, I'm like, your movie must suck. Seriously, like, when you ask for a screener and they either just don't reply back, or they just tell you, oh, we can give you it the day of. There's one that I asked for recently, and they told me, oh, we can give you it 5 hours before the movie comes out. And I thought to myself, not reviewing it then. Because what you are telling me is the movie probably sucks ass, and I should not watch it because I'm going to not like it. So then I'm going to hate myself watching it. Then I'm going to review it and be pissed that I have to spend time with it. And then I'm going to post the review. And what did I give? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Now if a studio's like, hey, we really want you to see our movie, I go and see it a couple days early, review it, and I don't like it still. That's fine with me, because at least they believed in their movie to a somewhat standpoint. That's my whole thing. So it really just depends. And you also have to, like, that's why in a lot of my reviews, I do like to give context because someone new might be watching me. So like Downton Abbey, I'm seeing that Wednesday. I've only seen the first movie. I've never watched the fucking show. I'm only going because my grandma wants to see it, and then I'm going to review it. I'm going to review it as someone who's never watched the show. So, and people will hate that, but the context is of it. There will be someone who wants to see if they should see the movie because they've never seen the show, you know? So, but the first movie did get me intrigued to go back and watch the show. I just never did. So, I mean, I had 2 years to go back and watch. That's my fault. But
Yes, you did.
3 years actually. So,
and it's a great show. And you'd have kept your grandma accompanied by someone. So you would have been a good grandson too. So that's 2 birds with 1 stone. All right. Your turn. The last one, I read it.
So Joe Fletcher, I'm just gonna say you did ask us one, but we cannot answer it. It says, who do you think will play Reed Richards and Sue Storm in the MCU? We are not answering that. So I'm gonna leave that one blank for now.
But feel free to ask it tomorrow on Zach's
on my live spoiler. Yeah.
And you can check out my fan casting for the film that I did last year.
Sodium 285 asks, hi Zach and Ren, fan of your channels. What is one superhero movie you don't like but everyone else loves? Me, it's The Dark Knight. That's what he said. I was like, okay.
Oh wow, okay.
Interesting.
I don't like but everyone else loves. Okay. I don't think I have an unpopular opinion on. Zach went away, but we have. Okay, it's not that we don't like it. Speaking for myself, until Zach comes back, I think it's all right, but most people love it, and that is Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was a very big disappointment for me. Understand that I come from a place where I love the original Thor. I like the Dark World. I never thought the Dark World was horrible. A big downgrade from the first one, though. And Ragnarok was adapting one of my favorite Thor stories, was adapting Planet Hulk, which is one of my favorite Hulk stories. And if you don't know, the Hulk is my favorite Marvel Comics character ever. Not favorite MCU character, but favorite Marvel Comics character. And so I was extremely excited. I, at the time, wasn't the biggest Taika Waititi fan. Like, I thought What We Do in the Shadows was all right. I thought, what's the other one? The one he does with Sam Neill and Julian Dennison. Hunt for the Wilder People was all right. And then I think he directs Ragnarok very well. But Ragnarok is very much one of those films where the comedy overshadows the dramatic heft of the film. And there are great moments in that. There are great moments in Ragnarok. But they immediately get cut off by some joke that doesn't land for me. Then Taika Waititi directs and writes Jojo Rabbit, which is one of my favorite films of that year. He rightfully wins the Oscar. Since then, I'm excited to see Love and Thunder, but now he's also writing it. There's not someone else writing it, and then Taika Waititi coming in and improving a lot throughout the film. Now he actually wrote a script, and he's now adapting my single favorite Thor story from the comics ever. Also adapting my least favorite, so there's something to worry about there. That being said, that's probably mine. I will also say another one I like. It's a good movie. I just don't love it as much as everyone else. A lot of people in the chat right now know it. GKOP knows it. Zach Pope knows it. And that's the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Good movie. Quite good. I really enjoy it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's amazing. But yeah, Zach's Wi-Fi shut down again. So we'll have to wait for them. And until he comes back, I'm just going to read some off my community tab. And when he comes back, he'll do a bunch of his in a row. Hopefully he comes back. All right. Lady Aaron. This question is a two-parter. Okay, first part. If you can hang out with any celebrity that has passed on, who would it be and why? And then you have another question, so it's a three-parter. We'll hold on to that one. Who would it be and why? Who would it be and why? I don't know. I'm going to go Robin Williams. Robin Williams would be great because basically grew up with Robin Williams. Just really sad when he passed, particularly because of the reasons why he passed. So I think it'd be lovely to hang out with him. What would I do with him for an entire day? I don't know. Let's have lunch. Ideally in this hypothetical situation, I'm imagining we're in LA. So go to lunch, walk around LA, go to a comedy show, go to a movie, maybe get an improv or comedy class from him. That's a good one. That's a good one. Now, second part, or third part, because there were two questions on that one. Now, if you were to hang out with any celebrity that is still alive, who would it be and why, and what would you do? It would be Margot Robbie, and I'm not going to say what I would do with Margot Robbie. You know, can't discuss that on the show and still be monetized. Lady Aaron, again, what's a specific music genre and decade of that music genre that you have a soft for that you love to I'm not sure what the decade part means, like a specific music. I don't have a soft spot for any kind of music. I don't think I just like the music I like, and don't like the music I don't like. But yeah, I'm not sure I understand, so I apologize for that. That's on me. But yeah, just like rock, hard rock, 80s. It's more my 70s, 80s really. It's more of my thing. But I listen to rock from all around really. Lady Aaron, who are some celebrities that do not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yet that should have had one? I have no idea who does have a star and who doesn't have a star. Like, I don't pay attention to that whatsoever. I coincidentally was watching, was it James Corden or was it Jimmy Kimmel? One of those, like Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen were in one of the talk shows this week, and they happened to mention that Benedict Cumberbatch just got a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So Benedict Cumberbatch has a star, but I don't. Let's say I don't know if Elizabeth Olsen has one or not. So let's say her, because I have no idea who's in this stuff or not. It's not really something I pay attention to. And he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Zachariah Pope, welcome back, sir. How are you?
I'm pissed, but
all right. So I just read off 3 questions. So why don't you give us 3 questions of
all right.
Community tab?
Yeah. Lady Aaron asks, how would you rank Oscar Isaac's performance as Moon Knight and his overall career performance within the MCU performances? I can't give like a, but I'll say he's top 3.
We have
top 3. Top 3.
MCU top 3 for sure. If not at the very worst, top 5.
Yeah. Like who would say favorites? I mean, him, Elizabeth Olsen, Downey,
Chris Evans. God, it's not even one of the Wenwu, Tony Leung.
Tony Leung. Yep.
I to this day say he wouldn't have won.
He should have been nominated.
He should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I still stand by that, for sure.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah. What are some Oscar winners, Lady Aaron? Sorry, in any of the categories, we're not gonna have this off the top of our heads. So I can tell you right now, that made you completely baffled when the winner was announced. That made you question why it won the award in the first place when it should have been someone else. I mean, let's do the cheap cop out on this one. Tony Leung should have been nominated. He probably should have won. I don't remember who won Best Supporting Actor. Who won Best Support? Oh, it was Troy Kotsur. So Tony Leung probably shouldn't have won, but he should have been nominated. I'll say that. But we don't have. This includes a ton of names, so I don't have that off the top of my head. Zach, do you have anyone off the top of your head?
No, I don't. Yeah. I do not like whatsoever.
What's next?
Joe Fletcher, did you see that Zac Efron wants a role in the MCU? Who would you want to see him play? I think he would be a perfect Nova.
No, I'm Nova. Nobody else can be Nova, sir. I need to be Nova. So I reject your hypotheses, good sir. I reject it on this beautiful Saturday afternoon or morning for you, in case you're in the States.
Okay, but if you can't be Nova, who would be the second best? Is it Efron or
nobody's going to? I would give it to Dacre before giving it to Efron.
Yeah, I agree.
Because look, you're not gonna like my answer, but Zac Efron. If you watch his documentary Down to Earth, Wolverine, I think he'd be a really good Wolverine. He doesn't have so much of a baby face anymore if he lets that beard grow out, and the dude's got a beard. Like that's a beard, goddammit.
Yeah.
He's still got somewhat of the baby eyes, but I think they can work past that. And he has the chops, the acting chops to play Wolverine for sure. So I know it's not going to be popular, but I would definitely cast him as Wolverine. I think it'd be a good Quasar as well. If we are shifting out the original Guardians team and bringing others in, if we're bringing in Quasar, I think Zac Efron would be a great Quasar, but he might feel too similar to Chris Pratt in that sense. What about you, Zach?
I've been, Wolverine's a good pick. I'll be honest. I'm still biased. I still want Taron Egerton. He's a good height. He's a great actor.
I think, look, if you go watch my fan casting video, I fan cast Taron Egerton as Wolverine. I think amongst the choices that we have, he's the best choice.
And Hugh Jackman endorses it.
Yes, obviously. And still, he's not one of them like, that's the perfect cast. Because if you ask me, Fantastic Four, the picks in my fan casting video, obviously, my opinion, the picks in my fan casting video, I'm like, these are all like perfect choices, in my opinion. A ton of my other X-Men choices, I'm like, these are perfect choices. Taron Egerton, I love. Mm-hmm. I'm not like I'm like.
If 90, I'm being honest,
85-90%. I'm not.
I kind of want. I kind of want an unknown for Wolverine.
I think that's. I know that's the nice way of saying I should be Wolverine, Zach, but I don't think I'm a Wolverine.
Okay.
But I think it's also their best choice. Go with an unknown.
Yeah. I do have another pick though, other than Wolverine, and you mentioned Dacre, and I think Dacre would also be great in this role, and that's the Human Torch. I've always envisioned Zac Efron as either Human Torch or Booster Gold. Those are the two characters that I have always imagined him, and I don't know why. It's just like those are the two characters.
I just think he's too old for Torch now, because I mean that's my own idea of Torch, but I want Human Torch.
I want a younger version.
Spider-Man's age.
Yeah, that's why, because Dacre's younger than him, right? Or at least he looks younger than him. To a certain extent, right? Okay. So, that's why I think Dacre would probably be the better choice. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. This one is going to be more for you than for me. But Lady Aaron asks, what are some of the best iconic video game villains ever, and what are some of the worst iconic video game villains ever, and why? So
I can't do worse. I'll be flat out with that.
Okay.
I'll do best.
I was gonna say, if anyone can do worse, it's you, not me.
I can't do worst. I don't play bad games. I don't have time for that.
Zeus in God of War.
Yeah, Zeus is good. For me, just off the top of my head, Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2 is probably still one of the most iconic villains ever. Two, oh man, it's not a villain, but to Ellie it is. Abby, one of the most fascinating villains.
Yeah.
That entire the cycle of violence and what it deals with people. That's a villain in that film.
For sure.
And then fuck, man. General Rom from Gears of War. Just a fucking badass looking motherfucker. Dies in the first game, but badass motherfucker. That's all. He's just
Alrighty. What's next?
Next, we got Eric Thorpe asks, are you guys noticing a trend in Phase 4 that whenever Wanda shows up, regardless of your thoughts on the projects themselves, we get the most innovative and artistic filmmaking in the MCU to date?
No, because she doesn't show up in Moon Knight or Loki. Or Eternals. and those are the most distinct. Alongside WandaVision and Doctor Strange, yes, those are two, but I would put Loki and Moon Knight and Eternals right up there. And you guys know I prefer. I will say I prefer Shang-Chi to most of those things except Moon Knight. I wouldn't put Shang-Chi there.
No,
as much as
Shang-Chi still feels like an MCU movie for the most
and
part.
I agree, and I don't mean that as a bad thing at all.
Same.
The MCU is fabu, as I like to say. It's a new thing. I kind of
what do you is Shang-Chi your favorite Phase 4 movie? Just movie wise.
No, that's probably Spider-Man No Way Home.
Let's take Spider-Man No Way Home out. That does not count because I think that's all of ours.
Okay,
besides Spider-Man No Way Home, what is your favorite?
Let me see my list on Letterboxd then.
I'm curious. Is Doctor Strange now your favorite?
So Phase 4 movie, not Phase 4 thing. Phase 4 movie.
Yeah.
Phase 4 movie, Shang-Chi is my favorite outside of No Way Home.
That's how I am. Then Eternals?
I mean, we haven't had that. Yeah, and Eternals is right after. So the Phase 4 movies are one right after the other. So Shang-Chi, Eternals, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
I just realized I went with my hand up. It's the other way around. So it's Shang-Chi, Eternals, Multiverse of Madness. And then somewhere in the back it's Black Widow. Right. If we're not counting Spider-Man No Way Home, that is.
No.
So yeah. What about you?
I have the same ranking, but Doctor Strange is my least favorite movie. But arguably, it's my favorite directed MCU film in a while. I love how it's directed. It's just literally it's just the script. I just have issues with the script. That's literally it. That's holding it back from me. I think Phase 4 has been awesome. I think Phase 4.
But answering Eric's question, do you agree with him, or do you agree with what I said, or do you
Moon Knight, Loki? You got Moon Knight, Loki, Eternals. I mean, I think you could maybe argue that WandaVision and Doctor Strange are the most wildly, vastly unique directed ones, but then you got Loki and Moon Knight to still argue.
Even so, I would put Loki high above those, particularly next to Doctor Strange and Multiverse. I mean, I'd put Eternals. Eternals is the most different because even Doctor Strange's direction, Multiverse of Madness's direction being very unique, it still feels.
Besides No Way Home, Eternals is my most rewatched thing. So
this is the Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness's direction that very unique for the better, but it's still very much this is the sequel to the Doctor Strange movie. Obviously, all the spellbinding visuals and all that, but Eternals is the most. Eternals is hard sci-fi, thinking man sci-fi in the MCU.
I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm still shocked by how much they let Sam Raimi do. I genuinely, I am very shocked by how much they let him do. Like, that is a Sam Raimi movie. That is a Sam Raimi
100%. It's not Spider-Man Sam Raimi. It is Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Sam Raimi, which I love. I love that way more. I love that way more.
I might just watch the Evil Dead movies now because
and I know
how much I enjoy that.
You've never. I thought you have seen them, and you didn't.
I've seen the first one.
Oh,
I've seen the first one, and I thought it was all right.
That's the weakest one. So yeah.
All right.
Just as a heads up, though, when you do watch them, you're gonna be a bit confused with Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, because in the way that they end and start. Evil Dead 2, the beginning is kind of a recap to the first one. It seems different, but it's not. Just understand, it's because when they made Evil Dead 2, the only reason Evil Dead 2 got made is because Stephen King loved the first one, and told Sam Raimi, have you ever planned on making a sequel? He goes, yeah, I want to, but I can't fund it. So then Stephen King got him money from other producers to fund Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 got funded. Problem is the original studio that owned the first movie did not want any reference to the first movie. So they had to remake the first movie within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Army of Darkness, same issue. So that's why. Just as a heads up for when you watch it. A lot of people get confused by that.
All right. Best and worst video game remakes, in your opinion, and why? I God of War 3
remakes.
I haven't played that many remakes, but God of War 3. I mean, maybe she means Lady Aaron means remastered, not remakes.
Yeah.
Are there video game remakes? I don't know.
There's remake.
I mean, the
There's
Pokemon
remakes.
ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire are up there for sure. That I've played because I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm very casual. I like the things that I like, and I don't explore much outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Remakes. Final Fantasy VII's remake was really good. That's
right.
really the only real remake, like the actual. I mean, besides some Pokemon ones, but like the one that is actually remade, top to bottom. So,
all right, what's next?
I got one. Joe Fletcher, what is your favorite episode of The Office? Mine is Diversity Day.
Diversity Day is incredible. Scott Stotts,
dude,
is up there. Scott Stotts is so uncomfortable.
It's so hard. So I gotta say, so I have a couple in mind that I always go back and rewatch. But Scott Stotts is one of the ones that is hard to rewatch. But God, it is so fucking funny.
Oh, the Dinner Party.
Dinner Party is my favorite one, though.
My Dinner Party is. I mean,
the flat screen.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to be kind of cheating with this one because I don't particularly remember the episode, but I always got to mention the greatest cold open in Office history, which is the fire drill.
It's the
White sets up.
That whole fucking episode.
I know one of the plots, the B plot is Stanley has a heart attack, and that carries on through the episode. But I don't remember the rest because that cold open is so good, it overshadows
the entire episode.
Everything else in the episode.
Dude, when he goes today, and he fucking lights the firework and throws.
What's the procedure? What's the procedure?
Everybody, and then he goes, "Is the handle hot?" Oh, and then they're screaming help, and then you have Kevin break the fucking vending machine.
And then I think it's Michael who throws the TV out.
Yeah. My favorite, one of my other favorite cold openings is Kevin's hot chili.
Oh God, please!
Kevin's hot chili. When he's carrying it up, he's trying to push it back in.
Yes. Oh, another one. This is not a cold open, but the episode itself is when Michael is trying to make the deal, and he's at the Chili's, and with Tim Meadows, and he's like, "I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs."
Yep.
It's so good, so good. Love that episode. But yeah, that's a great question, Joe. Thank you for making us laugh. Oh, The Office is so good. Yep. All right. My turn, right? Yeah, my turn.
Yeah.
Lady Aaron, have you been keeping up with the latest Pokemon anime? Nope. Whether you have or haven't, how do you guys feel about Ash being one of the top 8 strongest trainers in the world within the recent
know if he
Pokemon?
was.
I mean, Kit has been at it for 20 years. I sure hope he's one of the top 8. I mean, the Kid has been at it since 1997. It's 2022, so I hope he's one of the best. Yeah. Zach, what's next?
Ren and Zach, if you were in charge of a Marvel or DC, what would you guys do in terms of future projects? And can we all agree that with Ren and Zach being awesome in every way, they would make Marvel and DC even better? Thank you, lady.
I don't thank you, but I don't think, Zach, no offense to you, brother, but I don't think you or I would make Marvel better. DC? I mean, any plan is better than what they currently have.
Yeah. Marvel has their shit together.
Any plan at all.
Marvel has their
shit together. Even with how fucked they were with COVID, and we're still seeing the repercussions of that right now.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing. Wait till we get out of the COVID era of Marvel, which I think will probably start with Guardians 3, in my opinion. I think that's the first movie that wasn't.
I think we'll even still feel it with the Marvels. I think the Marvels by now
see, I think because Guardians 3 is the only one that's not actually done. Marvels and
they just wrapped filming yesterday or today.
Yeah,
time zones are awkward.
So yeah, I'm excited, but DC wise, I guess that's where you and me can talk about. I mean, so if David Zaslav needs some help, I mean, he could hire us to be the two people leading it.
I mean, you can clearly see Kevin Feige is stealing my ideas. That's all I'll say.
And
So
yeah,
David
and
Zaslav,
to be
call us.
honest,
Well, don't call us because I have anxiety about talking
Mhm.
on the phone. But
Yeah.
email us.
I would be honest about DC. I would restart. Not the Batman. I would still let them do their separate universes and shit, but I would restart the entire universe.
Erase half
Yep.
of the multiverse, and that
Yep.
includes the DCEU.
Yep.
Just one of the things you can do: bring back Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yep.
Give him sign him for 2 movies. Plan those 2 movies out, and keep Batman out. Like, you've made that decision. You can do Batgirl. Zach, I'm going to be a hypocrite right now. You can do Batman Beyond, like he comes from the future, gets stuck, whatever. Have your universe expand from Superman. Superman is DC's golden boy. He is Mount Rushmore of superheroes ever. Even though
he's one of the most iconic superheroes of all time.
So. Like one of the 2. And those 2 are DC. And you guys know I prefer Marvel. Always preferred Marvel. It's not an
that's my thing. Like there was this really fascinating study. This guy went backpacking to different countries, but he asked them. He always asked random people questions, and he always asked, "What are the top 5 superheroes that you see? Like, who are your like iconic?" And you know what the average answer was for those 5? Batman and Superman were clearly 2 of them, but the next 3, it was Spider-Man was next, Wolverine, and Deadpool. I was shocked to hear Deadpool.
It's
not
a lot
Cap,
because of the movies,
not Iron Man.
I feel.
And that's probably why. And he asked someone about a lot of them about Deadpool, and they're like, "Oh, he looks like Spider-Man." So that's also why. So I was like,
right. Okay. Fair enough.
So but yeah.
Right. Your turn. Sorry.
Okay. What do you guys think is the reasoning as to why the director of Fast and Furious left? Was it because of Vin Diesel? Yes. I mean,
no ifs or buts about it.
That video of him and Vin Diesel is all you need to know as proof.
So. All right. Lady Aaron, what do you think about the trailer for Don't Worry, Darling? Great trailer. I'm so confused, and that leaves me so excited. Stepford Wives meets The Truman Show. That cast, the movie itself, looks lavish and enigmatic and spellbinding, and I cannot wait to get my eyes on that. Zach, what about you?
What was it?
Don't Worry, Darling trailer.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see it. I know someone that saw it, and they've hyped it up for me, so I'm hyped now.
Nice. What's next?
Lady Aaron, what are your plans for moms for Mother's Day tomorrow? Do you have anything? I know we're doing the spoiler discussion, but I know your mom's not there, so do you do
My
anything?
mom's not there, and Mother's Day is the first Sunday of May, so it was last week. I called her, and that's it.
Fair enough.
That's my plan.
We have no plans. We just want to relax. That's it. So.
All right.
Your turn. You got any more?
Yeah, I got a ton, and we got 20 more minutes. So, Lady Aaron, what are some YouTube channels that are not movie related that you guys love to watch? For me, I love watching people doing playthroughs of video games, music channels, history related channels, video game channels, a ton of different channels. Well, I watched Dr. Mike. I watched Fail Army. I watch Aussie Man, which is not necessarily movie related. He sometimes does reviews, he does interviews and all that, because he has a big channel. I watch a lot of wrestling channels because I'm a wrestling fan. Other than that, not movie related. Good question. And there's a new Moon Knight spot because I'm just searching for Moon Knight stuff. And there's a new Doctor Strange spot as well. Other than that, I subscribe to the talk shows, to the Jimmy Fallons, and that's somewhat movie related because I subscribe to see when the actors are on there or directors. Other than that, yeah, that's it really. So Dr. Mike, wrestling stuff, and yeah. And yeah, that's it. Not Not much else. Zach, what about you?
Mr. Beast. His videos are very, very entertaining. I can
Oh,
not
I watch
disagree
David
from
Dobrik. I
that.
don't watch Mr. Beast. I've
Yeah.
never seen Mr. Beast.
Dobrik, yeah, sometimes. Game Ranks and Jake Balladino, all of them for gaming news and gaming videos. Those are really entertaining to me. And then I do follow a lot of just random podcasts that just talk about life, or like people who just talk about technology and like camera angles and stuff like that. So that's really it.
All righty. Your turn.
Lady Aaron asks, in your opinion, what are some of the most overrated and underrated video games and why?
The entire series of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games are awesome. They don't get talked about enough, and I think every anime series video game should adapt that format. Would it get boring? No, it wouldn't. You're all wrong. It wouldn't get boring. It would be awesome. Zach, what about you?
Underrated. I mean, that's a really good one. Sticking in the anime video game, Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I truly think that is the best Dragon Ball Z game ever. I
second best
seriously, Tekken's amazing, but like, there's just something about that Fighters and the way that it was adapted. But overrated, one that recently that was a good game, but I didn't get the 10 out of 10s was Deathloop. I don't get the love for that game. It was really good, but not one of the best games of the year. So yeah.
All right.
And I'm out from there, so you can just do the rest.
You're out, okay.
Yeah, some of the ones that are being asked, we either can't ask or we've already kind of answered. So
yeah. Lady Aaron, have you guys listened to the Lady Gaga "Hold My Hand" song yet from Top Gun Maverick? What are your thoughts? Haven't listened to it. If it will get any Oscars, no idea because I haven't listened to it.
I want to see the movie.
Sorry?
I want to see the movie, and that's when I'll hear it.
Yeah. Same. That's why I haven't heard.
I don't like listening to his songs before the movie because I feel like it's better in the context of the movie than the actual song, to be honest. So
yeah, I'm not that strict when it comes to songs. I'm that strict when it comes to score.
Scores are
pretty good. There are some exceptions. I definitely want to just hear the score when I watch the movie. But this one, it's probably because it's a Lady Gaga song, and I'm not too much of a Lady Gaga guy. But so I didn't care to go and listen to it. So
I didn't even know they released it till yesterday.
Yeah, I got sent the featurette by Paramount UK, one of the best studios to work with, honestly. All right, Master of Gaming. Which three actresses of the three would you hang out with? Lisa Foyles, don't know who that is. Imogen Poots or Tiffany Haddish? Easily Imogen Poots, because Tiffany Haddish grinds my gears. I'm not a fan of what I've seen from her. I don't know her as a person, so she might be the greatest person ever, but what I get when I watch her in movies, don't get the vibe that I would like to hang out with her at all. Imogen Poots is the only one I know out of the other two, unless I'm blanking on who Lisa Foyles is, but I'd go with Imogen, who's great in Outer Range, by the way, which just finished yesterday. Still haven't seen the finale. Zach, what about you?
Oh, she's in it. I'm very excited. I saw Tom Palfrey was in it too from Ozark.
Tom Palfrey is in it.
Which now I'm gonna start Outer Range next since it's over now. Honestly, I'm gonna be different, or else I would pick the same one as you, Tiffany Haddish. I really like her. And one of my favorite stories is a stand-up comedian was telling stories about before she got big and stuff, and she's a very down-to-earth person. Like I was genuinely surprised by that.
I know a little bit of her story, like that she lived in a car. She was eventually found by Kevin Hart. Like, not taking any of that away from her. I've never lived a life as tough as she did. I'm just saying, like
and that's my thing is that it's just when she is given good material, she's really good in it. Like I thought After Party, she was actually really good in After Party for me. I really liked her in there. Girls Trip I love. But I do like when she doesn't just do her shtick. Like I thought she was one of the weakest parts in Unbearable Weight. So
all right. Master of Gaming, what's your favorite and least favorite Stuart Handler film? So I saw this question in the morning. I went to research who this man was. No clue. Have not heard or seen anything he's ever done. Do you know who this is, Zach?
Who?
Stuart Handler.
No idea.
Alrighty. Zach, this is just for you. Are you hyped for the Saints Row reboot like I am in Master of Gaming, like Master of Gaming is?
Kind of yes and no. I've enjoyed every Saints Row game, but the last two were not great. Like, they were fun, but I never went back to them. So I'm more excited for this new one because it is a reboot. They're going back to basics, which is my favorite one. So we'll see.
All right. Nathan Holton asks, someone will return. We cannot answer that question, but we've kind of alluded to what we think about it. Also, Nathan Holton, are you going to watch Firestarter next week? I am. Not sure if I'm going to watch it at the cinema or screening. It's a busy week in the cinema. Got another advanced screening of Everything Everywhere All at Once because it finally comes out here. Can finally share my review on Monday. And also got finally Father's 2. I was going to watch it this past Tuesday, but then a spot opened up at the press screening for Multiverse of Madness. I obviously chose that. So I'm going to watch.
You made a
Father's
wrong
2 as well
decision.
this week.
You made a wrong decision.
No,
Father's 2 is a masterpiece. That's why I gave it a C.
All right. Are you going to watch Firestarter though? Zac Efron, our boy, our Wolverine.
Earlier, I mentioned that there was a screener that they said they were going to give to me 5 hours beforehand. That might have been Firestarter. So, no, I'm not.
Alrighty.
I just no. I'm not wasting my time with this shitty movie. I don't have time for that.
Alrighty. Nathan Holton. Thoughts on the Avatar trailer? We already covered that. Stunning to look at.
I want to live there. I wish
Efron?
I could be a Navi.
Well, too much water with not much choice. So I wouldn't necessarily want to. I would like to go there to visit, but not live there. Who would you want, Zac Efron or Keanu Reeves, to play in the MCU, as they are rumored? So we already addressed Zac Efron. Keanu Reeves. I don't think we should get rid of John Bernthal, but if we do get rid of John Bernthal, Keanu Reeves would be a great Punisher.
Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's good. I like that. All right. When do you guys think they'll GKOP? When do you guys think they'll announce updated news about Deadpool 3, X-Men, and Fantastic Four? Fantastic Four, we discussed that last week when we talked about John Watts' departure. We should wait till around Comic-Con or D23 to hear news on that. Deadpool 3...
Same thing.
I mean, now that he brings it up, also around that time.
Right? All these things you're asking, D23 or Comic-Con. Which one comes first? I think it's D23, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's Comic-Con.
Oh, is it? So it all depends if Marvel is going to Comic-Con this year. Because they went in 2019.
Yeah, D23 is in September, so for sure later than Comic-Con.
I don't think
we'll hear about X-Men yet, though.
I think we get an announcement of one, whether it's a solo movie or something like that. Actually, I will go as far to say this: they are going to announce what the title is and a director. Nothing more than that.
Just call it X-Men. Don't play fancy. Call it X-Men.
No, they're gonna play fancy. It's gonna be called The Mutants. It's gonna be called The Mutants.
That's the worst title for a movie ever. The Mutant. And you'll get related to the New Mutants, which there's one. Most people didn't like it. I like that movie. That movie's fine. Yeah. That movie's good. That movie's solid.
But Fantastic Four wise, if Marvel does go to Comic-Con, Fantastic Four, they're gonna announce the cast.
Are they gonna be fancy? Director. Are they gonna be fancy with that one too, Zach? Are they gonna call it the Four Fantastics?
Yeah, I think so. I think they will.
Oh God.
No, they don't. But I'm telling you,
cool title.
that is when they will announce. But if they do not go to Comic-Con, which I think there is a high chance they might not because of D23 being so close, they're gonna wait till D23 to announce.
All right.
Which that's my thing is Star Wars Celebration. I'm going in May at the end of the month.
Yeah.
What are they going to announce there that they're not going to save for D23? Because usually D23 but since COVID delayed everything got pushed. So now we have all these big conventions. So where are you going to save your big announcements for? Or do you give a little bit here, give a little bit there? Like, do we find about Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie this year? Do we find about something else? You know,
maybe.
There's these questions that I have rumbling through my mind. But Comic-Con, I think, more or less, if they do go there and they don't want to do big announcements, they'll... I gotta imagine Fantastic Four will be announced there, but like X-Men one, and you know what? Fuck it. I think they're gonna go. I'm going back and forth, but that they're gonna go and we're gonna get there.
Alrighty.
And it'll be the last announcement they do. It'll be the last announcement they do.
Joe Fletcher, and he has somewhat a similar question to Geek, but it's kind of the next step in that question. Do you think Doctor Strange 2 will have the Iron Man 3 treatment? People don't like it at first, but eventually will go on to like it. I just want to say I loved it before everyone changes their opinions on it. Good on you, Joe. I think it more so depends where the next one goes or how it affects the characters and the MCU around them. But I think we could see that happening. I'm not going to sit here and say yes or it's very likely, but it's possible. I think it's very possible. My second watch, I know I didn't mention this, but when I went to see the second time, the things I liked, I liked even more. The things I didn't like, I didn't dislike any less. They just stayed as they were. So the things that work in this film are much better at working than the things that don't are bad at not working. If that makes any sense. Zach, what do you think?
No, you make a good point on what do they do next, because that can only expand or make you less like a movie sometimes, depending on how they,
or not affected at all.
Or not exactly, or not affected. Like Infinity War. If Endgame would have sucked, would Infinity War still have been as good? Yeah, it still would have been entertaining, but not as satisfying. Whereas, like, I don't love Guardians 2. I appreciate it. I like it. Guardians 3 might make me fucking love it, depending on what they do with the characters. Guardians 3 could also make me love Endgame more. It could. There's all these possibilities. So, like, Multiverse of Madness, if it was just a direct sequel to Doctor Strange and we didn't know anything about Wanda before that, this movie would probably be even fucking worse. To be flat out honest with you, it would probably be even worse. But because we've had WandaVision, because we've had Doctor Strange, Infinity War, Endgame, all these sorts of things, building this character up and building both characters up, you care about them a little bit more. So it really just depends. I do not think this is the Iron Man 3 treatment. You know what film will be loved more in the future? Fucking Eternals. I would be willing to bet money on that. I would be willing to bet money on that fucking one. Because people who say they fucking hate it now, I'm going to tell you right now, love you, Griffin. Love you, Film Speak. But you know what movie you used to text me that you fucking hated all the time was Iron Man fucking 3. Now I have text messages saying that you love it and it's your second favorite MCU film. And you hate Eternals now? Give it fucking 10 years. Also, you know what else movie you fucking hated? Solo. And guess what? You admitted that you love fucking Solo now. So, sorry. I love you, brother, but you're coming around on Eternals one day. I fucking know you will. So.
Yeah. All right. Dominic Scott, do you know a new series called Kung Fu? I'm on season 2 and season has been greenlit? I'm not sure what the question is. Do I know a series called Kung Fu, like the old Bruce Lee produced series with David Carradine? I know of it, but you're talking about a new series, so it's probably not that version. So no, I don't know that one. Zach, do you know the new series Kung Fu?
Nope. I have no
idea. When you're planning to watch your movies, do you stay away from any reviews? Just some of... Not sure what I'm going to assume whenever we're planning to watch movies, do you stay away from reviews? Yes. I stay away from reviews and reactions. Sometimes Zach will see a movie before I do. He'll tag me in his reaction. I will not watch it. I will not see it anything until I see the movie itself. And then I'll go back to what I was tagged in, what I was mentioning, all that, and share and like it and all that. Until I see a movie, I'm staying away from everything besides the first trailer that I choose to watch. Zach?
No, I try to. I try my best. It just really depends on the film. Some films I like to see reactions to, but I still fundamentally I don't like seeing issues with the movie. I think that's my
Okay.
biggest thing, because then I get more of a. It sticks in the back of your head when you're watching it, you know. Even if you try not to.
Yeah. All right. This is Scott. Joe Fletcher, what is your least favorite movie from your favorite director? As much as I love Nolan, I was really disappointed by Tenet, and I don't really like it. I also adore Spielberg, but I despise Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You know my favorite director is Nolan, but my least favorite of his is Interstellar, and it's still a very good movie. So yeah, that's mine. Zach, what about you? Least favorite movie from your favorite director?
The thing is I haven't seen Martin Scorsese's bad movies. Because he's my favorite. So I
From the
haven't
ones you've
watched them.
seen. From the ones you've seen, least favorite. Because my least favorite is Interstellar. I still really like it.
If I'm just, I like this movie a lot, of a king of comedy. It's the only one I don't care to rewatch.
Okay.
I don't care about it. So
then Joe Fletcher asked about the rankings. The rankings of the MCU shows, not the finales. MCU shows would be Moon Knight, Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, What If, and Hawkeye. Zach, what about you? And I like them all, by the way.
Probably the same as you.
Eric Thorpe, do you guys think there is any chance that Multiverse of Madness becomes the first Marvel Studios movies to get a director's cut? Don't think so. No. Don't count on it. No. I love the movie. It's one of the MCU's absolute best, in my opinion. But we all know there's like a half hour of footage or more that Raimi had intended to be in the movie before it was changed. So if you add that footage in, it contradicts a lot of what the film does. Also, do you think if there was a director's cut, it would have gotten an R rating? Because I swear Moema is the most hardcore PG-13 movie. No, I don't. And I think that's for the best. I think PG-13 horror doesn't exist, I think. Ratings are bullshit anyway. Who cares? PG-13 horror can be really good. There are some great PG-13 horror movies out there. And this is one of them. And I think it goes very hard. I think it just goes to the line, in my opinion. Do I think it'll get a director's cut? Anything is possible, but is it likely? No, I don't think it is likely at all. And I think it works best for the film because I don't think half an hour would have benefited. It would have just padded everything out too much. I think 10 more minutes would have just done wonders for this film. If this film had 10 more minutes and obviously the right 10 more minutes, probably top 5 MCU things I've ever seen. Gonna be honest. Probably would have gone up over the original Doctor Strange. Probably would have gone over Spider-Man No Way Home. All that. But yeah, that's what I think. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, 10-15 minutes. It needed more time out of every Marvel movie. Where a lot of time when I watch a Marvel movie, I'm like, you should take out 20 minutes. This is a film that needed a lot more. There was a lot more going on. And it's not like I needed more cameos or stuff like that, because I've seen that where people are like, oh, you just wanted more cameos in the movie. No, I think what they had was perfect. I was worried they were going to have too many fucking cameos in this film. I'm happy with what they gave us. I just wanted more development with stuff and more slower moments. One of my favorite things about the first Doctor Strange is just small subtlety moments between him and Christine Palmer, especially when his hands are fucking broken and he's just trying to find a way to heal himself with surgery, stuff like that. That conversation where he goes, oh, like you could make me happy. And she goes, this is the time you apologize. That is one of the best moments in that fucking movie. And that's what I was hoping to get in here. Like, there's a moment between Christine, I'm not getting spoilers, but there's a moment between Christine Palmer and Doctor Strange where they're just together. Not earlier in the movie. I don't know if you're picking up where I'm at, Ren, but it's in the back half leading into the third act. And I wish they would have spent a little bit more time with just them having a conversation. And I think it would have done a lot more.
There's a conversation in the third act where I'm like, this is great. Let it breathe just a minute more, 2 minutes
just a little
more,
bit,
tops. Yeah. I definitely agree because not gonna get into spoilers. She's a physical presence in the film that represents that temptation, which is a great thematic through line throughout the film.
Temptation. That's a great
temptation.
That's what I wish. I wish we would have
gotten.
I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of America Chavez and stuff with her, because in the sense she's used as a MacGuffin for the entire film.
I talked about that in my spoiler review, and I'm not going to dive into specifics, but she's a great plot device. She's not a great character. She works very much in the story level,
and
not so much.
She would be weaker if the actress wasn't as good. Xochitl Gomez very much brings a lot to that role. So
I agree. All right, rapid fire because we're in the last stretch. Movie fan, hey Ren, are we going to be talking Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness spoilers next week? Next week it will be valid to talk spoilers.
Free game. Next week we're talking about Henry Cavill showing up. So fun thing. So my girlfriend posted on Facebook just like 2 days before Doctor Strange. She goes, spoilers. I saw it early, and Henry Cavill as Superman is the best part about the movie. And the amount of idiots who commented on it, being like, I can't believe you just spoiled the fucking movie. And dude, me and her are just laughing. Because like, you guys are really that dumb?
You cannot be
literally people were that stupid, dude. People were that dumb.
Oh well, they played right into her hand. All right. Yes, we're going to be talking Moon Knight. We talk Moon Knight spoilers today. Multiverse of Madness, we're going to be talking spoilers. There will be a fair warning. We're not going to put like a spoiler in the thumbnail or in the title, but it will be fair game once we get to the live questions. Sodium 285, Ren and Zach, are you disappointed that John Watts isn't directing the MCU Fantastic Four movie? I am, but I wish the best to who takes the reins instead. And maybe John Watts could direct the MCU X-Men movie. We talked about it last week. It was our main topic. It was our main discussion. Disappointed, yes, because I was excited to see what he did outside of Spider-Man. But the man needs a break. And there's quite a few interesting directors that could take the reins on that one. That would be very fitting. Zach, what do you think?
Honestly, I wasn't a big fan of when he was announced, to be honest. I wanted someone new, fresh. I think he's been doing 2-3 films. I would rather him take a break from comic book films, go back to doing some other things. So, which seems to be what he is planning on doing. I think that might be directing it, we will talk tomorrow. But definitely I'm excited. I really need this Fantastic Four movie to be good, man. I need a great Fantastic Four film. So,
all right. Gico EP, his weekly ranking that didn't make it on the show. Number 9, The Dropout with Amanda Seyfried. It's okay. Number 8, Multiversal Madhouse. Okay, Multiverse of Madness. Number 7, Doctor Strange. Number 6, Moon Knight, episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is phenomenal. Finale was fine. Number 5, WandaVision. Number 4, The Leftovers, getting started on the show on HBO Max. Number 3, Barry, season 3, episode 1 and 2. Number 2, Inside Llewyn Davis. Such a good movie. And number 1, The Avengers. Happy 10th anniversary. I didn't give it a rewatch this week. I was so busy, but I got it, man. I got it. Sodium 285, what are some Sonic characters you hope will show up in a future Sonic the Hedgehog movie? Me, Blaze the Cat, and the Babylon Rogues, Jet, Wave, and Storm. No idea who those are personally, but there's only 2. I'm going to play it safe. One of them is in the post-credit scenes, scene of Sonic, and the other one might spoil the character I'm referring to, but Rouge the Bat. Bring on Rouge the Bat and that character that showed up in the post-credit scenes, because that left me so excited. Zach, what about you?
I want the alligator.
The what?
The
alligator.
I don't remember his name.
I know there's a talking alligator, but I don't know his name. Do you know his name?
No.
Maybe it's one of these 3 that Sodium referenced.
Probably.
Jet, Wave, and Storm. Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, those are the only 2 that I want, particularly the one in the mid-credit scene. Chico P, what do you think of the Jane Foster Thor's look in the new photo for Love and Thunder?
His name's Vector.
Earlier today.
By the way, his name is Vector.
Huh?
His name is Vector.
Oh,
The
Vector.
alligator.
Okay, so it wasn't one of the two that he mentioned, or she. I don't know. I don't know. Sodium. The new photo looks great. She's jacked. She's gonna do a great job. It's Natalie Portman. Of course, she's gonna do a great job.
Especially with
Zach,
Taika, man. Especially with Taika. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm hyped.
yeah,
I'm hyped.
for sure. Nate Ankenbauer, I know Zach has talked about his day job sometimes, but Ren, do you have a day job or something on the side you do with YouTube? Don't have a regular day job at the moment. I'm unemployed, but I am starting out as an actor. I had my first job last week. So yeah, getting started really. So nothing like set in stone, nothing stable at the moment. So yeah, I don't have a lot going on outside.
No,
Just
you're an art. Don't lie. You're an artist. You're
I'm an
employed all
artist.
the time. Yeah.
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah.
Being an actor is an artist, content creator, I guess. Could consider maybe. Depends on who you ask. So yeah, my focus is on YouTube. Like yesterday, I spent the whole day editing. I came back from the gym at 11 a.m. Got in front of this camera, recorded my spoiler review, finished recording my spoiler review at 7 p.m. That's how long that 36-minute video usually takes. And last question, MSB. Hey guys, just jumping in to ask you about Danny Elfman's score in the S2. Just came out of my second viewing. While I do appreciate some tracks a bit more, I still feel disappointed. Your thoughts? I feel disappointed in the sense that I like Giacchino's more. But I think Elfman does a great job. Like, he goes hard. There's these very Elfman-esque, very horror-esque, like, guitar riffs throughout the film. Every time, like, there's the jump scare and all that, the piano notes. Not going to spoil anything. Like I said in my spoiler, I'm only going to say literally what I said in my spoiler-free review. There's a sequence in the film with musical notes that you won't soon forget.
Yeah,
like
that's my favorite scene in the movie.
Raimi and Elfman got on acid together and they cooked this up at 4 a.m. and it's awesome. It's so great. And another thing that you're watching the film and you're like, oh my God, this is so Sam Raimi. So I love that sequence. I really think it's a very, very strong score. Somewhat agree in the disappointment just because I like Giacchino's so much more. But yeah, those are all the questions, I think. No. So yeah, those are all the questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday. From old friends to new ones, welcome one and all. Again, shout out today to Toby at the gym, and shout out again to Nate Ankenbauer. Gonna take care of announcing the memberships today, and tomorrow I got my biggest Easter egg in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness video coming out, Dark Phoenix review coming out Monday, Everything Everywhere All at Once review, and also tomorrow I will announce the next review series, which for members you will get videos early, around 12 hours early, or maybe even a day. I don't know. Maybe I'll be generous. You guys will help me decide if you become a member. So I'll announce all of that in due time. Zach, thank you for joining me once again. What do you got coming up this week?
Well, tomorrow we'll be doing a live spoiler discussion of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
You are?
It'll be fun. Yeah, you'll be there. Patrick will be there. One of our friends, Chris from Filmstock.
Supreme Ren.
Yeah, Supreme Ren. Chris from Filmstock, who actually got to go to the premiere, will be there. So I think that would be fun to have a conversation. And then Rudy from Rudy's Movie Reviews will also be there. So happy to have them there. Today,
that'll be fun.
Yeah, today if you've seen the movie, I have a ranking coming out of every cameo in the film, every variant, every thing that shows up. So that's fun. The thumbnail, I don't want to hear no bitching that I spoiled anything, because those two things in the thumbnail are in the fucking trailer. They're hinted throughout the entire trailer. So I'm not being bitched at for any of that shit. I could have been an asshole and picked someone else, and I didn't. So
I'm excited to have that come out because that was a fun ranking to do. And then I have a couple other Doctor Strange videos coming out as well. I'm going to be doing, I started a new series called This or That. So I'm going to be doing a Multiverse of Madness versus No Way Home next week. Because I already did Doctor Strange 1 versus Doctor Strange 2, as well as a 10 cameos that I would have liked to have seen in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So even though they probably didn't make sense. So those are some fun videos. And then I'm seeing Men this week. Don't know if I can talk about it once I've seen it.
You
I am seeing
bastard.
So I am seeing Men, though. I'm very excited. I literally got told yesterday. So thank God. And I guess Downton Abbey.
I'm trying to search for the stream. I can't see the thumbnail. I can't find
thumbnail's
the thumbnail.
not up yet. It comes up in 15 minutes.
Okay. So send me. I can't.
There's two British people on it.
Okay. One of them was hinted. The other one, you saw everything but their face, so they won't be spoilers. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. All right, everyone. Tons of good content coming this week, and be on the lookout for the membership announcement tonight in case you want to join, or even if you don't want to join, just chime in to tell me what you'd like to see members get. But I do hope you join. I hope to see you in all of those. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you very soon. And until the next one, love each other and love the movies.